All right. This is the Baron Bond video podcast where we talk about science fiction and filmmaking and sometimes science fiction filmmaking. And tonight we're going to be doing just that. The series that I'm trying to complete called L'MaM Gang. I've got the main cast and the main guest star for our tale. So I'm going to bring those guys in and you're going to get to know them all. So let's see, who are we going to put up first? We'll put you up. All right, who's next? Let's put Pride up over here. Marinda over there. Chris over there. All right, here we are. The cast of the L'MaM Gang. Now, we're going to talk about various things, some of which being the state of independent filmmaking in the Inland Empire, because I know some of you at least are very involved in the filmmaking community in a local area. So I kind of wanted to pick you guys' brains about, what might be some ideas to have that be more sustainable, for up and coming filmmakers, because I shared this with you before. The amazing amount of talent just around. I mean, I'm sure there's tons and tons of people who just haven't gotten the exposure or linked up with the right person. Because I myself was very surprised at how active some people are. Pat, I see you smiling.
I just like the topic.
Yeah. Well, oh, nope. Sorry, Alex. But first I wanted to, for anybody that hasn't seen any of the episodes, I'm going to run the trailer for L'MaM Gang, and then we'll kind of go around the horn and introduce all of the characters. So here we go with our trailer.
What happens when a group of would-be filmmakers find an alien camera? Will they know when to call action and when to cut?
Seeing light with a cinematic flair. Every shot is like truth or dare. Telling stories is oh so groovy. We gotta shout. Let's make a movie!
And soon, the very next episode, we're going to have special guest star Pride Pierce. A round of applause. So I know Pride and Chris and Pat and me, and to an extent, Marinda and Pierre, we're all doing, you guys are all doing projects that involve more than just acting. But, for tonight, we'll just kind of concentrate on some of your, your characters. And then, when we talk about the filmmaking, you guys can, put in your own experience with the local filmmaking and how we can, ramp that up. So let's start with Pat. Given that Pat is you're the director of the L'MaM Gang. You're kind of the steady hand, keeping everything in check, making sure these guys don't, get too far. So let's do a quick little acting intro for you.
Well, my name is... Oh my God. My goodness, I was not expecting that.
That was really cool.
Quick little intro now. Pat, I know you probably don't entirely consider yourself an actor. It's just something you do when called upon. How would you just...
What's it just about right? I enjoy it very much, and I just absolutely have loved being in Let's Make a Movie Gang. But
Yeah, it's kind of
I'm
your
not
creed
trained-
anyway, right?
I'm not a trained actress like the others in the cast.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I just thought about, I think from time to time what I would do if I had a second season. And that's getting in front of my skis a little bit here, but I wondered about you. Are you playing yourself pretty much like you are as a director, or not so much?
I would say pretty much. I know that you like me to be pretty fed up with them most of the time, but other than that, I try not to be fed up with people. But other than that,
Not too hard with this bunch, right?
yeah.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey, Baron. Chris is stuck.
What happened
Chris is
Oh.
stuck backstage. He wants you to let him in.
Hey,
There you go.
Welcome
I'm
back.
sorry, Chris. I forgot to put you up
Felt
in
so
here.
empty without you, Chris.
I'm here, baby boo.
Yeah, I just before we move on, I just really like the part in the second episode when you guys find the prop book in the garage, and you talk about the strange gentleman.
Any chance we're going to meet that strange?
Oh my gosh, is he coming up or what? No spoilers, but he might be coming up.
Episode X.
That's right. That's right. Yes, he is coming up. That will be revealed in a later episode.
Nice.
All right. So there's Pat. That's her basic character. Now let's see here. Pierre, let's run yours.
Love it.
Yeah. and Pierre, if anybody hasn't seen anything yet, Pierre is the actor in the L'MaM gang group. And Pierre, you are like the actor's actor.
Well, I think I'm the actor's actor. That's the character. So it's there's a lot of we kind of do it my way. We pronounce it correctly. It's kind of the actor that directors kind of despise in a way because he's done so much that he thinks he knows everything and no one can really tell him anything.
We lost Chris again.
Chris,
And-
what keeps happening to you? Where'd he go?
Where'd he go? Push the button. I told him not to push that damn button.
I don't know where he went.
Maybe he'll message us again to get back in the room.
Solomon isn't too hard to work with as long as he's happy with his lighting.
Oh yes, yeah. Make sure you always light the left side. It's my good side. Always get the left side. All actors know what their good side is. So my good side is my left side. So just make sure you always get me on the left, Baron. It's important for me. More important for Solomon, but important for me.
I'll make sure I add that to the storyboards.
People are going to be looking out for that. Why do you always shoot him from the left?
Yeah.
Because he's a pain in the ass actor. That's why.
We'll run a contest for that. Spot Solomon scenes on his left side instead of his right side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good.
I'm just waiting for that fight scene that you wrote into an episode for me, Baron. At some point, where I'm going to be having a tussle with someone.
Yeah, minor tussle. Hey, Chris, was that just a bleep, a cosmic occurrence?
Yeah, I keep dipping in and out of reality. Hey, you never know what's gonna happen.
You're taking this story a little too seriously, my man.
Yeah, no,
Hey,
I'm a method actor.
Yeah.
I told you before.
He is.
But
He
yeah,
is.
I was thinking about if we do another season, I thought it might be fun to do, get more into the backstories of all of the characters. So, Pierre, I was thinking for you, I would just love to get like a 3 or 4 year old, dress them up in a royal cape or something, and I think we could get a little kid to say, "To be or not to be," or something like that, right?
Wow.
That'd be great. That'd be
3
great.
or 4-year-old Hamlet. I guess it could work.
Oh my God.
You never know. Right?
Hamnets, right?
Okay. All right.
With all the
So
revenge. Never mind.
we know. Yes. Yeah. Man, we could go all over the place. with that.
4-year-olds these days.
All right, and to put you in the middle here, Pride, you can be like you can be the reverse Oreo here.
I like it. I like it.
That's right, man.
There we have it.
Here's Pride.
There we have it. Damn, Pride.
Nice.
Holy shit, dude.
Nice.
So
I had no idea you had those chops, man.
That's
Do
awesome.
you have a smile, bro? I mean, seriously, it's so
No,
serious.
Never.
he's doing it now.
Never.
Never on screen, never on camera.
Well, Pride is going to be the villain in the movie, and he is a tech trillionaire who's trying to get his hands on the Maximus Cameratus because he's into AI and he may be on the verge of a breakthrough, but he wants the technology in the alien camera to see if he can push his dreams over the top. But you're also, I wanted to ask you, I mean, in reading the script, do you have any sense of like how you're going to play Wexel Cordwainer Jones?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a number of different, individuals that I can look at, as far as for inspiration on how those type of people typically act, at least their public face, how their public face is, on things. As far as, for me, one of the things I think about is that I always find villains who, like most people, villains who actually feel like they're the good guy to be more interesting and all that kind of thing. And so for me, it's mainly just trying to really focus on the fact that he really does feel like what he's doing is beneficial to mankind as a whole, whereas L'MaM gang is basically extremely selfish for trying to keep this out of themselves.
That's right.
That's the only way for your character to see it, really.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the obvious comparison is for Elon Musk
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%,
type of
100%.
character, but I mean, I didn't have any particular mannerisms or whatnot in mind for basically any of the characters.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say you didn't get an email back from Elon Musk to play Wax
Wexler.
Dr. Jones.
No.
Rex
Yeah. Don't sue me, bro. Don't sue
Cordwainer.
I said
There it
Elon
is.
Musk like. But anyway, yeah, I just thought about, your character. You could play him real eccentric, or you could, play him, is very. I mean, I always saw
Miranda and I actually talked about this.
Did
We
you?
were really hoping, Pride, that you go like super eccentric with it. We were both like, "Come on,
I
go
do like
crazy with it, bro." We think you'll.
That means I'll play the opposite, but thank you. No.
What? What'd you say?
I said that means I'll play the opposite, but thank you. No.
Okay. Yeah. Never do what your cast says.
Yeah, no, I definitely think there's a lot of room to have a lot of fun. With that character.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. Yes.
Absolutely.
Just out of curiosity, is Cordwainer Smith one of your favorites?
Oh yeah. In some sense, he's me. Right? I mean, I don't want to. Right? We don't want to spoil anything, but that whole last episode where Wexel experiences the Max Cam, that was me. That's what I wanted. That's where I wanted to go.
I was referring to the science fiction author, though.
Cordwainer Smith.
Yes.
And what about him?
I was
Did I base?
it said you took Cordwainer and then changed Smith to Jones. I was wondering if he was one of your favorite authors.
No, I wouldn't consider him one of my favorites, but I've read some Cordwainer Smith. He's got a kind of an odd sensibility from what I've read, but and I just love saying the name.
I say he's got a cool name.
Yeah, and I can't wait to do the tower, right? The Wexel Tower.
Mm-hmm. The I
with the AII logo, up on there. Oh, that's going to be fun.
Love it.
So that's your basic character. All right, now, where is she? She is here. Miranda Convis is our next victim.
Hell yeah.
Well done, Baron.
Cool.
Nicely done. Now, Miranda's character is, the most overtly comedic in this thing. No, you're kind of like the lovable dingbat.
Yeah.
Group,
Yeah,
and it's
I would
surprising
agree.
how well you pull that off.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Lots of lived experiences.
I mean, you've always heard that thing that comedy is the hardest thing to do, right? So,
Yeah.
in a
Oh,
way, Miranda's got the toughest job in the
Oh, yeah.
whole group. I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
we need to get her some more crafty immediately.
period. I insist.
VIP things.
No, that's
But when I thought of your character, I mean, there's some points later in the story, in later episodes, where you actually have some real compassion, and you have some insights that nobody else has. So you're going to have your moments where you're going to need to I want those to hit,
yeah,
when
yeah.
you're acting more like very compassionate, or you have these insights, you say these brilliant things, just out of the blue. So I really want those to have some impact when that happens. But I thought in later episodes, you might wind up being like an engineering genius, right? Because you're making subs out of
Yeah.
home core and whatnot, and so you and Wexel, are probably going to hang. If we do a second season, you guys are probably going to hang out more than anybody else, right? Wexel's going to notice and say, "Yeah, I need her on my team." So. Who knows?
That's always a fun character, like totally socially aware and oblivious, but really has an aptitude for something that takes a lot of mind. Now, I don't know if that's what will happen, but it could go in that direction, like you said. It's always fun.
Oh, yeah. It'd be fun to come up with how that whole thing develops. But yeah, good stuff. And last but not least.
Whoa.
Nice.
You pulled from
Hey.
some stuff that I don't even know I did. There was some stuff in there where I was like, when was that?
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of went around and grabbed some things. Pride was the only one that really helped me out with some clips. The rest of you lazy actors didn't get.
Well,
No.
we can't all be filmmakers. We can't all be filmmakers.
No, I told you guys not to worry about it because I wanted to do something, real quick and, but that won't
that's
stop me from
fantastic.
asking you guys to do more stuff in the future. So,
Baron, you kind of have a career in making actor 10-second clips.
Yeah, those are good.
I'll do
That's a
trailers.
thing. I don't know. That's a thing, I think.
I'd love to do trailers.
10-second clips for the actor.
Trailers are fun. Yeah.
Cool sound effects, cool music behind, and cool transitions. Kind of impactful.
Yeah, but now Chris's character, if you don't already know, he is the cinematographer, DP, and he will do anything to get the shot. And I know we talked a little bit about this before, Chris, but I mean, are you really as big a camera nerd as the character you play?
I would say a solid 50%.
A semi-solid 50%?
Yeah. But when I'm method acting, you better believe that's 100.
Yeah, I so want to put you, if there is a second season, I so want to put you in some like unbelievable position where you're trying, you're like hanging upside down in a tree or something like that.
And I'm like, backlight, come on, get the hair light right, hair light. And I'm just like angling the shot. I'm like, are we doing Dutch? Are we doing Dutch?
And I'm dangling over magma.
Oh, look at this.
I didn't think you could act in magma.
Oh no, magma's too much. No.
Tough. Yeah. Oh, and looky here.
Hey, L'MaM gang, what's going on? Cross Beyond.
Hey, Cross Beyond. That's Anthony. Pat, you know Anthony.
Hey.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, you guys all know
Hey.
Anthony. Yeah, he was on the green screen shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Dude,
How you doing,
fantastic.
Anthony?
Fantastic cinematographer there.
I don't.
Oh yeah. His short film. Oh, that's
The
something
car
I
scene.
did. I did
Car
want to
scene.
mention real quick. Have you guys seen Pride's short film Turnabout?
Yes.
I
don't think
saw
so.
whatever Pride sends me, I watch.
Well, that one was kind of you had
Pride sent me
the
something recently, and I
It's
watched
the one you
it.
sent. It's the one you sent, Pride, right? With the
It had to do with the
three
ice
people
agents.
sitting in the kitchen having a
Oh
conversation.
no, that one's El Esqueleto. Turnabout's a
Oh.
different.
Okay, that was
Oh.
fantastic.
That was amazing. I haven't seen
Pride.
this one.
Pride. I was just curious. Why haven't you made that one public? Are you?
Turnabout.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It's really just because there was no real thought. It was made pretty much for a competition, and I just really hadn't really gotten to a stage of even really thinking about it post competition. Is the only thing so far.
And you said that was for it wasn't the 48 hours, the 64?
The 66 hour competition that they have out here in honor of Route 66. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that just. I mean, I just thought it was outstanding. I thought the pacing and that you managed to sustain that tension throughout basically the entire film. It was I really enjoyed that one. If you guys haven't seen it, so yeah, wanted to get that shout out. Oh, looky here. This is
Yo,
Hey.
Judge Crow, Clyde here, looking for
Clyde here. This is
Nice. Oh,
this is the guy who's playing Clyde, the guy
that's
that
fantastic.
knows a lot more about the Max Cam than anybody
Oh.
knew.
This is
I
Clyde.
can kind of get a
What up,
good look
Clyde?
at him right there.
Nice.
Welcome to the man
Okay.
thing, buddy. That's
I
cool, man.
mean, yeah.
That is great. That is great.
He's-
Clyde
he's-
here.
He's got the right hippie weirdo look. Am I right?
Darren.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
Like a mirror image. Like, what's going on? I'm like, what?
Oh, and follow up from Anthony. It's a lot of fun. We'd be happy to work with you all again. You know, we would be happy to work with you as well, my man. And I'm sure we will at some point.
Nice.
Because I'm hoping that Anthony's going to be able to be, you know, assistant camera, assistant DP. You know, he's all over it. And his film Peccadillo is, you know, pretty shows the kind of thing that he can do. He's I think you can tell he's from watching that he's a big David Lynch fan.
Cool.
And a big Christopher Nolan fan.
Yeah.
Is it on YouTube?
Yes, I believe it is on YouTube. Hey, Anthony, why don't you put your link to Peccadillo in the comments so people watching and here around the table can go watch it if they want.
Pride, can we watch the movie
that
you just did for the competition?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'll send a link out to email. You know, to
Please
you
do.
guys.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do.
Appreciate you wanting to check it out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love the one before. That was fantastic. It was so well made, and I know one of your cast members, which is cool too. So it was nice to see her doing her thing.
Yeah,
yeah. So I know everybody has, you know, projects going on and in the works and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to pick you guys' brain. I'm still very new to the narrative filmmaking end of things. I've been in video for a while, but not the narrative filmmaking and the, you know, the independent, the whole scene. I'm still very, very new to that. And I know, Pat, you're a member of the Inland Empire
Filmmakers
Collective. Yeah. And then the other one is the Desert Empire Filmmakers Foundation, I believe. Pride, are you I saw you on a podcast on you know, one of their podcasts. Are you a member of any filmmaking group?
To a degree, I guess. You know, I've been on the filmmaking scene out here since probably about 2009. So I've seen a lot of kind of groups come and go. But currently, you know, I'm definitely affiliated with some groups in different ways, like Desert Empire. I've been asked to be a board member on there, and so, but they're kind of still figuring out that whole thing on there. So definitely, you know, I work with a lot of different groups closely all the time, from your Phase 3s to Desert Empire to, you know, IEFC and others or whatnot. So, you know, so loosely, I guess.
Yeah. Because I was trying to think of things that would make the independent local scene, you know, more sustainable. And the only, not knowing a whole lot about it, the only thing I can think of is trying to combine some of these film groups. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea, but, you know, combining it some way so that, again, you know, filmmakers coming up would have a place to get started. Did any, you know, and, you know, it's not just the filmmakers, it's the actors and the crew would all have, I'm sure, good ideas about how to, you know, kind of grease the skids for getting projects off the ground. So does anybody have any ideas that might, you know, spur that along?
Well, the DEFF, Desert Empire Film Foundation, that's kind of their goal, their mission is what you were referring to. Isn't it, Pride?
Yeah, largely. They're, you know, basically looking at trying to support other filmmakers while they're doing projects themselves. But their most important mission really is trying to support other filmmakers in the Inland Empire and trying to help those groups, get to a point where they can get funded and they can, get their projects put out there, especially ones that don't have as many means as like others that are kind of more established, like myself for Phase 3 on there. But yeah, that's definitely. But I mean, more of that can't hurt for sure.
Yeah, and from what you know about that particular group, do you have a sense of the kinds of things that they would need the most? Is it just backers and financial help, or are there other areas that might really help them out?
That's a good question. I would say, of course, who doesn't want more money? Who doesn't want more of those resources flowing in? I think they're kind of figuring that out too right now. They've definitely helped out on a number of projects. They're constantly out going to every business meeting, political meeting that they can go to try to make more networks that can hopefully pay off both parties. Moving forward, I've gone to a couple of those things as well, usually on my own volition, and then just happen to see them there also and talk with them briefly while I'm there because I'm friends with them as well.
Networking.
Yeah. And so I think they're figuring out kind of exactly what may be their best practices while they're kind of dabbling in a number of different areas to try to get some experience first and see what kind of is available for them to utilize as well as for them to kind of support. Like an example, when I mentioned Del Esqueleto, kind of like when you mentioned groups coming together, for me, I didn't necessarily look at it like, well, everyone needs to have the same brand or umbrella. I look at it as, just whoever is there, try to utilize them if they want to be involved. So like in El Esqueleto, for example, we had Phase 3 as a part of it. We had Desert Empire as a part of it. We had Existe Ma, another group out here as a part of it, and so that's kind of how I look at things a lot of times is that, we don't necessarily have to all be in the same quote unquote brand or house, but if we all know we all are striving to do things, we can, just network and talk and see if people are available or interested in being on projects together, as they come up. But at the same time, there's lots of different ways you can go about things for sure.
Pride, are you a good contact to see who's interested in working collaboratively on projects together?
I like to think so. I've been out here for a while, so I've my network has definitely expanded over the years. That said, you still kind of bump into different people at different times. The main thing I look at to me is what I call hubs, and hubs are kind of like the big kind of tent poles out here that brings a lot of the filmmakers, to them, such as the 48. To me, I've been a big proponent of the 48 because it's such a huge hub. It has a very visible presence usually worldwide and also in the IE. So there's usually, if you're trying to meet filmmakers, that's a great place, as Chris obviously knows and Pat knows, etc. That's a great place to, network with people and try to build those connections. And I know I've utilized that over the years. There used to be another group out here long ago, which was IFE, the Independent Filmmakers of the Inland Empire, that, Pat was a member of as well. And that was a tremendous hub because they had monthly meetings. Eric Harden, the founder, he went out of his way to get sponsors and really put a lot of time. So every month there was always a giveaway at these events. At the end of the year, they give away things like Adobe Creative Cloud membership for a year, at the Christmas party and stuff like that. And that was a really amazing hub for about 7 years or so before Eric finally closed it down.
Now we're getting to it.
Yeah.
Do you think the Inland Empire film scene is looking for a big hub?
Yeah. I think I would say, I think it always helps. I don't know, like if people are necessarily looking for it or not, but I think it always helps. And to me, I'd be, I'm always all about that type of stuff, Yeah. And I think there's certain groups that may try to a degree to be that, but I don't think it's easy to kind of sustain being that unless that's kind of your sole purpose. And that's why I think was good, because that was kind of Eric's sole purpose, was
to be the like centrifuge of the creative force That is the IE film scene.
Exactly. You know, it wasn't really about Eric trying to find out what projects he could be on, even though he would help and be.
It was more like him getting it all together.
I'm just trying to get people together that love filmmaking, like I love filmmaking, and that's kind of the main thing I do. And he would spend a lot of time, you know, talking to sponsors, talking, you know, lining up locations, making sure that we could have monthly meetings, you know, versus him putting all that time into I'm on a project, you know, which is what a lot of us would be doing, you know. So I think that's kind of the barrier for a lot of groups to being that, is because really you kind of have to be someone who that's your priority.
I love the Inland Empire film scene right now. The there was a film from San Bernardino Valley College that won an Emmy for their documentary.
Yeah.
Warehouses around here.
Yeah.
And that put us, I mean, we were already on the map, by the way, because we're right next to Hollywood. But that was another like little check mark being like, hey, take a look. We can do stuff here. Oh, yeah. And you have lots of examples of that. It's just usually most of that stuff isn't publicized, you know, very much. Like I've been fortunate. I've reached out to a reporter out here, and for a number of years, he was able to get stories. I would send him out, but not all the time. And that's went less. But like as one example, there was a winner of the 48 from the IE who, I don't know if you guys have heard of the film Pig with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
That he started.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
The guy who won the 48, and I want to say 2013, he's the director of Pig, you know, or whatnot. The guy who won the IE 48 out here, you know.
Wow.
You know, I still have pictures when we were hanging out at the rap party that year. It was a 70s themed rap party, you know, when we were hanging out together. You know, so there's things like that happening.
You know, I mean, there's the stories in the IE are fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, so there's things like that happen. It's just most of it's not really publicized. And there's a lot of islands that when there's a hub, they kind of all gather together. But when they're not, they're kind of, you know, off doing their own thing, and understandably so. And so even when those islands may have a measure of success, usually it's a lot harder to me to get like press that like people actually pay attention to in filmmaking out here. And so they might have a measure of success, but you might not really hear about it, you know. And so really only they or their friend groups or their networks would really hear about it.
We need a hub. We need one more hub.
Yeah.
Whenever there is a hub, everybody shows up to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My buddies did a horror fest for Skelefuzz. I don't know if you were there for that, Pride, but it was pretty good. It was at the Look Cinemas. They closed, which sucks so bad.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But there's other places to show film, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we screened a feature. My debut feature. I still haven't released yet, incidentally, but we screened the current
you
cut.
have a feature? Wait, you have a feature?
Yeah.
We all clap for that.
Oh,
that's a big clap for having a freaking feature finish.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we screened the current cut of that at Look Cinemas, you know, with friends, family, etc., kind of thing, back when they were in operation. So yeah, I was really sad to see Look go, because they had, at one point they had very, very reasonable rates to forward place.
They had some ways to get in there. They really did.
Yeah, and what I looked into it just a tiny bit, and found out that you could, you know, depending on the theater, that you can rent out, you know, a small auditorium for a private screening for I think 4 hours for about $600.
Oh.
Yeah, it depends on the theater.
You could do 3.
Yeah, I know when we did Look, we did my feature, and then my producing partner had his debut short as a director, and we did both of those. And I want to say at the time we paid about, I think, $280 at Look, but it was like I said, they worked with us a lot. It was very cool. So different theaters will have the different rates.
They'll you know, different theaters work, but
that's a whole area right there. If you could get local theaters more involved and supportive of screening more of these things, just having like a regular, because I remember years ago living in Venice, California. They had the Newark Theater, and I saw so many great midnight film. That's where I saw Eraserhead. When it first came out, they were, screening that, and that was
We
just
love it.
tiny
I love
film
it.
at the time, and it just blew me away. So that maybe, that could be part of a hub of maybe you could find some cinema owner that was very sympathetic to the cause, and maybe push them to take some leadership and get their own little group together that could interact with this filmmaking hub. I don't know.
Pomona,
Yeah, I mean, oh, go ahead, Pat. Sorry.
Pomona School District owns a 1970s movie theater.
Is that in the high desert?
No, it's in Pomona. And they're used to, I don't know if it still exists, but there was a Pomona Film Society that was able to use it. And I guess that the high school has actually refurbished the whole thing so that I haven't seen it since for years, but that seems to be like, if you could tie in education to it, that seems like that could be a venue that would be useful.
Oh, you think the education specifically towards doing cinematic stories, or more broadly?
I was thinking more broadly, just like maybe if someone like Pride were to volunteer to do a workshop there, something like that.
No, that would be a good idea, because I think there's I consider myself a writer first and a filmmaker second, so I would definitely be willing to do workshops on storytelling in general. I haven't written a ton of screenplays, but I've just been writing all different kinds of things for, since I was a teenager, basically.
Well, I was thinking that, if people with the skills were to present something, and it would be, educational, like you were referring to, that it would be available to everybody, to all the filmmakers in the Inland Empire.
You just have to keep action in the story when you're writing.
Oh, you heard
just keep action. Everyone's doing something. They have to be doing something. And then when they're not, it's very intentional.
Yeah. All writers are just like directors, like actors. Everybody's got their own methods and processes and whatnot. So I personally, I've seen, quite a bit on how to structure stories and, all that stuff that they get into. I personally don't, I just can't have all that in my head when I'm writing this, when I'm writing something.
Yeah.
Maybe in a review process, trying to make sure. But I'm of the general mind of get on with it. Just
yeah.
Get on with it.
In terms of make something happen, make these characters do a thing, make the characters be like, hey, I want to do this, so I'm going to do this. That's something that leading characters have to do, not necessarily side characters or anyone. They could be encouraged to perform the tasks that they really want to do, but a lot of main characters are going to be just doing what they want to, and all of that action is what keeps people engaged in the story.
Yeah, I in general terms, I think if you present a compelling enough premise or starting point that you can hang with whatever the story throws at you, as long as you're not just treading water. I think people will hang for a good story, well told. No matter what kind of structure or how much action's in it, that kind of.
But characters have to make decisions, man.
Yeah.
If the character's not making decisions, you don't have a story. You have to have them doing something. They have to be like, hey, I'm at a loss because I have two things coming at me. I'm gonna pick one of them, and then I'm gonna do that thing. And so, like, decision making is really part of the character creation.
Yeah. And the nice thing, at least for me, is when you're writing a story and you have, a decent vision of how it's going, that the characters determine all of that action and those decisions. So
they do.
It seems to fall in pretty good when you're just taking the characters, putting them in that situation, and I'm guessing
they just rationalize, they're going to rationalize.
Yeah, and I wondered if that was a similar experience for the actors, particularly Miranda and Pierre. Is that kind of your approach to getting into a character? Is that just kind of a natural thing, or is there a kind of a process that you almost always go through?
Well, my very first instinct I ever had for acting was, what would I do if it was literally me in this situation? That was just the natural thought I had. And now as I've gone through training, I'll try to have a process maybe, or write down what the interiority of the character is, not just what would I do in this situation, but what would they do, because they are a different person than me. So I guess it's kind of a blend of both, marrying that instinct with what some of the training has guided me to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think preparation work is so important when you're studying a character, and Chris has given me some amazing tips. Chris is a master actor, and also has coached me in acting as well. And one of the things he taught me was that some of the preparation work you do, some of the backstory. You don't want to do backstory like, what did you eat for breakfast? But backstory like, enough so that when you're in a situation, what your intention may be in that moment. So there has to be enough of that. And then you have to look at your circumstance. You have to look at the world around you. You have to build the world around you, and you have to look at, where's that village? So when you're saying something, that you're going to, oh, it's over there. Okay. So that helps your intention of that. Instead of just standing there and just delivering the line, there's thought and process into what's happening around you. And then, of course, drawing from experience is key as well. Not quite the level of method,
and then just making the decision in the moment.
Yes,
freaking audiences love it when a character, not just an actor, but somebody is just like,
and they see it happening. Yeah, there's this thing that I watched this. It was the show on Netflix, or I don't know where it was, HBO, called The Kaminsky Method, where this actor is teaching. He's teaching acting, and he's like, one of the most important things as an actor is you have to relax to be in the moment. And I always used to be like, I'm going to go in there. I want to be a superhero, and I'm going to go in. I want to be.
I'm still, dude, as an actor, I'm so bad with my shoulders.
Yeah.
My shoulders are terrible.
Yeah. So the idea is that you relax in the moment. And when you relax in the moment, that's kind of when the magic happens, because that's when you can hear and see and feel what's happening. And
yes.
Acting is reacting.
Oh, those are magic moments.
But those are the magic moments. And if you can do that, I know on stage, that's when the magic is created and the audience picks up on that. But I think that translates to film as well.
That's true.
When you relax in the moment and you're having fun. And I think film lends itself even more to that, because you get the opportunity to shoot something a few times and play with it and be in the moment more, and interact.
You can become more relaxed as the takes go on.
Yeah. I find that.
Am I right, Pride, about that?
Oh, I agree 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Just delving into it. Yeah, it's interesting. every one of you has, been in front, and Pierre, I know you've directed some stuff.
Yeah, I've directed a few times.
Miranda,
And
I
produced.
know that you've created some of your own
Mhm.
music and songs, and you did you actually start writing a comedy musical, or is it just the songs?
I have plans for a comedy musical. It hasn't been started yet, but the stuff that I've written is either silly little songs on TikTok or and Instagram, or ones that I've put more time into, like really properly developing, and they're all standalone songs or like an album of comedy songs.
Oh yeah, yeah. But the thing being that I'm the only one that has zero interest in acting.
And I don't believe that.
No, seriously. I mean, I know I'm a ham bone and a loudmouth and a braggart, and I love putting myself in the middle. But I'm telling you, the idea of acting, it doesn't excite me. It doesn't terrify me, but it doesn't excite me.
Well, you're a storyteller, Baron, and actors tell stories. So you tell it in a way, and I've seen you tell stories. You're passionate, and you tell stories really well. And that you're acting, you don't even know you're acting when you're telling a story, because you're giving nuance, and you sharing passion and joy in that story, and that's what people see. And that's when you come down to it, people want to see real, genuine responses, and so storytelling was the first acting, and then it kind of merged into people doing stories in front of people, and then all that stuff happened. So
yeah,
you're acting the whole time. You're acting the whole time. So I hate to break it to you.
For me, yeah, in a way, yeah, I'm doing the acting, behind the scenes. I'm doing all my acting through all of you, right?
That's true too.
But this is a perfect segue, because there was something else I wanted to talk about, because L'MaM Gang, I mean, it's silly, but I think it has a really, good science fiction premise, as far as the Max Cam being, like a wireless materialization device. It's making only what's imagined real. And I thought about this whole notion of pretending that, as actors, obviously you're pretending to be somebody else. But I think that is pretty universal and universally positive, as long as you don't take it too far, about pretending. I mean, me, I'm out there as a kid, playing with my dad's, Super 8 camera, and, making little things way back when. And I'm pretending to be a filmmaker, right? I'm not one, but I'm pretending that I am. The whole notion of acting as if. And you have to pretend at the beginning, right? So,
to go to sleep, you have to close your eyes and pretend you're asleep for at least like 10 minutes before you fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh. Was that deep, snarky?
No, that was deep.
Oh no, he's agreeing.
No, I was trying to go for deep, but I think I messed it up.
No, but what you do is you close your eyes and you put yourself into the mental state of falling asleep. That's what you're saying. You don't close your eyes and fall asleep.
You literally have to practice falling asleep before you fall asleep. You have to practice anything before you can do anything.
Well, I don't know about the falling asleep. That seems to come pretty natural, but
not for all of us.
I think I get
lucky guy.
I think I get the point you were trying to make.
Okay, I can handle that.
Yeah, it's like a I mean, it's like a very, I mean, people, the whole fake it till you make it, you know, that seems like it's kind of frowned upon, but I think it's kind of essential if you know, if you're going for a particular thing that you don't currently engulf, right? You're trying to be, you know, somebody who does X. And when you've never done it before, you have to continuously pretend that you're doing that until it finally, you know, the dream catches up with reality, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's true.
So absolutely,
there's philosophy in L'MaM Gang as well.
Well, that got deep real quick, right? Wow. Yeah, we get given a script, and then we imagine we the characters, and we say the words, and the director puts us in a specific place, and then we film that, and then we share that with the audience, and that ends up being the story. So it's imagination. It all comes to imagination.
Yeah.
You know, and if the story is interesting, and the thing I love about this is, you know, I've loved science fiction as far as I can remember back, and we have these lovely little elements that are popping in. We have homage to other science fiction movies, and I don't want to spoil the things coming up, but there's such lovely references to some of the things that are in fantasy and in sci-fi that you inject little pieces into our story, which absolutely tickles me. And I was reading some of the new episodes, and I was giggling because they were really, really fun. And I think the audience is really going to love, not to bring us all the way back to the film, but because we're talking about so many fun things, but the series really presents so many fun aspects and pays homage to a lot of things in the things we're telling, you know, the alien characters and, you know, those kinds of things. It's really fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see, by the way, how you're going to do some of these things. I can't wait to see how he's going to do that thing. Right, Chris? Did you see that as well when you read it? I was like, that's going to be cool. I don't know how he's going to do it.
Like, what are you going to do?
Oh, yeah. Those are the things I can't wait to do some of those things just from a, you know, editing, compositing standpoint, because I don't know what how many people edit. Miranda, I'm guessing you and Pierre don't do any editing.
I wish I was good at editing. Well, I don't know if I'm good at it. I know I don't have the patience for it.
Oh no, yeah, it does. It takes a little thing.
I taught myself Premiere Pro, and I took some of my exercise videos and I edited some stuff and made some stuff like that when I thought I was going to get rich making exercise videos. But, you know, turns out I love exercising. I don't want to film myself constantly. So,
yeah, 2 for 1, right? Yeah. Chris, I think I've talked with you a little bit about this. Pride is your, because I've known some filmmakers who the editing, it's not like it's not enjoyable, but it's kind of a grind. I find it to be just so enjoyable and so stimulating, even when there are times where you're like wrestling with a scene and it's just not working, or you just don't have that clip. You got a really hard continuity problem to solve. It's like, what am I going to do? Am I going to flop them? What am I, you know, you're trying to fix those things, but do you find editing like really fun, or where do you stand on that?
Well, my main saying I say often is that I can't wait till I get to a point when I never have to edit again. But that said, no, there's definitely times when I love editing for sure. And I think it's a crucial skill. You know, it's definitely probably one of the things that's helped me, you know, make money more than anything over the years or whatnot. I think, like I was telling someone else, I said, for me, it's more so that because there's a tedium involved, especially when you don't have an assistant editor who's preparing all of the stuff and all that stuff for you. So there's a tedium involved. And a lot of times for me, it's more so looking towards the completion, the finished product I'm trying to get to. And this is just another step that I have to do. And the thing for it is, for me, at least personally, is that since I'm involved in a lot of different things, It's just kind of another thing that's going to take up time. And if in the end result is going to be, I'm going to get the same end resulting film that I want anyway, and either it can take up my time or take up somebody else's time, and I can turn my attention to something else. Then yeah, my preference would be I'd rather someone else was doing it, so that way I could turn my attention to something else I have to get done. But at the same time, yeah, no, there's lots of times when it's cool. Usually for me, it gets cool when like I find a piece of music that really, really excites me when I put it into a scene, and it's like suddenly it's working. And I'm like dancing in my room or whatever else, you know, because I'm just so on fire about the scene now that it's hitting, you know. So there's moments like that for sure, you know, when you're editing, definitely.
Pride,
Yeah,
did you
and
ever-
I don't mind
Go,
editing when I understand the project.
Sure. Yeah, that's a big part. Yeah.
If I completely understand the vision, I do not mind editing at all, because completing somebody else's vision is a treat. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to ask you. I would very much enjoy, I think, the process of directing and editing somebody else's story, somebody else's script, somebody else's vision. Just for that challenge alone is trying to get super clear about what it is they want to do, and then trying to accomplish that. I think would be fun. Have
if I
Chris or
understand the
Pride,
goal-
either one of you directed somebody else's script?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know,
yeah, I think so.
Multiple occasions, and like even right now, I'm finishing up a anthology, horror anthology project. I'm directing, and I was a director, cinematographer, editor, and actually played a very small role in this horror anthology, this feature piece, and it's we basically, the guy that put together, he's, you know, the grandson of Robert Mitchum or whatever else, the legendary silver screen actor. And so he had, you know, a number of friends of his basically who were willing to be in the project. So in my case, I got to direct Jake Busey, Gary Busey's son. And I'm currently, you know, working on finishing the final edit. It's about my portion is about 25 minutes for my part of the anthology. And so I'm working on finishing up that. But like getting back to what you said, when you're editing or for someone else, you know, there's always going to be that kind of giving forth as far as, you know, if they have notes, and some notes you may agree with, some you may not, you know, and usually the way I handle that is I'll express my opinion on it, you know, and then whatever they say is, you know, what's going to go. But I always let them know at the very beginning when I first start working with them is like, whatever notes I give you, always remember that it's just because I'm trying to make your project as good as I possibly feel I can make it. Now, the only thing that may interrupt that is that I might not know exactly how you see it as being the best product you want to make. So if I'm giving you notes and it doesn't align with how you see it, that's totally fine. We'll just move on, you know, but just take a second and try to at least consider if the notes I'm giving you are in line really with what you want, or if they may deviate from what you thought you want, but they, you know, may make your project better in your eyes. And if that doesn't work, then fine. We'll just move on with whatever you want to do, you know, on there. And so some of the notes I've gotten from them have been, you know, okay, cool. Yeah, that works. Other ones have been a little, you know, it seems a little weird, you know, you know, and other times, yeah, absolutely. You know, but there are times too that I'm surprised, whether it's that, or even if I'm directing something and I might get a note from a cinematographer that I'm working with or an actor or whatnot. And sometimes I'm surprised because I might actually think about their note for a minute, like, you know what, actually, they're actually right. Like that's actually the better choice, you know, on there. So I've seen it from kind of all different angles, from when I'm the one that's, you know, seeing someone else's vision, and then when others are trying to help me with my vision, you know, I've seen it on both sides of that kind of spectrum.
Yeah. I think that's why it's so important to have a strong vision for what you're trying to do. Whether you accomplish it, you know, is kind of up in the air, but that way you are, you know, very open to when something comes in there and goes, I'm very clear about what I want, but just like you said, hey, that's a good idea. That's going to make my vision that much better. Yeah. And Pat, you generally you have a lot of fun doing whatever on films, right? But specifically on when you direct, is that are you a real take charge kind of director, or are you just
Well,
kind of?
whenever I've directed, everybody's been so cooperative that I have not had to take charge. Yeah, that has never been an issue. I enjoy all aspects. Directing is, I think everybody wants to direct. And if they don't, it's just because they haven't done it yet.
Yeah, directing is fun.
Yeah.
I
haven't.
It's hard though.
I will say that I just helped a young writer who's put out a few books, and she had a short film, and she told me, she said, well, I want to direct just once, just to have done it, so she brought me in as her, associate producer, cinematographer, to kind of guide her along and help her. And we had our wrap party for it about a week ago. Well, first she said, this is the first time that, I've been a part of a short film, because she had wrote some before that, she said, well, I'm excited to show people. But then when we played it, she immediately left the room. And then when she came back in after it was over, I was like, okay, you made it through. You directed for the first time. She's like, yeah, I never want to do it again.
So I'm wrong.
I mean, was she doing that to basically become a better writer?
I think for her, it was that, I think that was slightly part of it. I think more so it was that since that was part of a creative process she's been involved with in the past, with writing, having other people direct, that I think she wanted to get the full kind of sense of what they're going through, because she kind of only saw it as being a writer, giving them notes and kind of being frustrated with the end result. So she wanted to kind of be in that chair, see exactly what it was like, and then use that down the road, as she keeps going.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the same for film. I've never done any film directing. I've directed for stage before, and I just finished doing a director's workshop with Wendy Johnson, who has she's a master's in directing, and she is at stage. She said if someone said directing's easy, they're not doing it right. So I feel like that's the same for film as well, because you have to pay attention to so much detail. And it's not just what's happening there, it's what's happening with the background characters and the movement and the positioning and then the movement between. People don't just look at what's happening here and there. They look at the whole flow. There has to be a natural flow to it. So it's intense. I'm actually busy directing something right now, a short play festival. I'm directing something for a short play festival, which actually happens this weekend, by the way. And it's only a 25-minute play. And I swear, it's so intense. When you act, you're only focusing on your role and your connection with the other characters. I mean, that's really what you meant to focus on. But when you're directing, you not only need to know all the characters, but you need to be very, very much aware of the whole picture. But when it comes together, it's the reward is significant. When you see a moment happen, and you see an audience react to that moment the way that you'd envisioned it. I know Chris was my associate director when we directed Grease. Probably, Chris, it's been almost 10 years since we directed Grease together. And there was a moment in Grease where there's something, I know, right? And there was something that happened where I said to one of my characters, I want you to do this one specific thing, do it very specifically. And I was watching the production happen, and I was kind of standing on the sidelines watching, and they did it like that, and the audience kind of gasped, and I was like, yes, and I was like, it was fantastic. It's so rewarding to see that happen, and the actors get this amazing sense from that, and then the whole thing becomes just tremendously rewarding. So I assume it's the same thing. The reward is different. You have to be in an audience watching it with your audience to see that response when you're doing a film, but I'm sure it's the same thing, right, Chris?
I think you're making fantastic points, and and me and Wendy, we go back, over a decade. We were in plays together. Yeah, we were in plays together at Redlands Shakespeare Theater. Redlands Shakespeare Company back in Redlands at the Redlands Bowl. Yeah. She was in, I want to say, the third and fourth or fifth short film I've ever directed. She was in. you know, and then I was I was one of the earlier board members for Full Circle Players.
All right.
You know,
Sweet.
yeah. But
Nice.
yeah, we've been very, very, you know, very, very cool for many years, and fantastic person, great director, and the points you were making about it were spot on. And you're right, to me, like probably the best time for me usually is sitting in the audience, and I usually actually record. I usually record the audience
Get the reaction.
watch a film I've done.
Yeah.
And then sometimes what I'll do is for the actor, especially in the comedy pieces I've done, a lot of times I'll go back and do a recut for the team where I'll put in the laugh track, so to speak, from the screening in the version that they get, so that way they can actually always, you know, hear the audience reacting to what they did.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it does feel nice.
That's really cool.
That's really cool. That's really cool. You're like an actor's director.
I don't think I've ever heard of that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I love that.
Yeah.
Byron, are we gonna do a little screening when we do the whole season and run all the episodes together and screen the whole thing?
Well, that would be a thing. Again, I don't have a lot of experience in you know, working with actors, so I'm not always sure what seems like, yeah, Baron, you don't need to do that. But that was my sense of it, is that, yeah, everybody would, you know, all of you guys would get together and go through, I guess, like the rest of the entire series, right? Is that what most of you would prefer to do? Is kind of, you know, read the entire thing through?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
Oh, yeah. I think
I'm
you're.
talking about when we have a wrap, when we wrap the whole season, then we kind of put it into we have a showing party. We basically people come together. And we show the whole season together, and people watch all the episodes. I mean, they're not that long. That's absolutely my intention. So you know, take all the credits from the first and second episodes out, and don't do the credit until the very end. Still keep the intros. Yeah, sure.
But no credits whatsoever, and just put them back to back. They still say episode 1 and episode 2 and like that, but run it back to back.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Just an idea.
Yeah, and it'll
super fun.
You know, I'm guessing it's going to be about an hour, 10, 15 minutes, something like that. So it's, you know, getting closer to a feature, which I eventually want to do. I'm a director, of course I want to do a feature, right?
It's the holy grail, right? Yeah. For directors.
And I've got just the project I want to do.
Nice.
Is that like it? Same with you, Chris, and Pride? Is there and maybe, you know, Pat, Miranda, Pierre, is there like some story that you're just like, man, I would sure like to pull this one off? Is there's something you're working on that one day you kind of hope you can pull it up?
Well,
there is.
I'm kind of working on it right now, and you know, it's like they always say, don't start with your passion project, but I feel like I just don't have time not to.
No, I mean, there's some stories for me. There's a particular short film I want to do with Pierre, science fiction, you know, and it's outer space science fiction, so it's near and dear to my heart, you know, and I'm really hoping to get a strong sense of, you know, awe and wonder at the, you know, in the third act. That I'm just so looking forward to try to pull off, because I want it to be just intense.
Oh yeah,
super intense. So if I can I'm just looking forward to that one scene. If I can pull off that one scene, I'll be a happy man, you know. So is there a project or a story that you guys have just been, you know, chomping at the bit and timing or funding isn't quite right yet?
I know in my own case. Sorry, go right ahead.
No, you please.
Okay. Well, in my own case, I've got kind of a roster of stories, but my magnum opus for me that my goal is to do it, when I'm at the level I want to be at as far as a filmmaker. And Denzel Washington is one of my dream hires for it, whatnot. But it's called The Orbiter. It's kind of a mix of sci-fi that deals with religion kind of as mythology a little bit, and deals with the destruction and creation of the world. And it kind of treats that, and to keep it brief, it treats it as an experiment being put on by the creator. And in this particular case, you find out that there's a resistance to the experiment because they feel like it's pointless, led by Lucifer. But that kind of, so it's a very grand kind of scale, apocalyptic kind of tale.
Does it have a hint of like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, world building?
No, but yeah, no, I get it, and it would fit that for sure, absolutely.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's like it's like that story, but that's
yeah.
Scale, right?
Yeah. No, I would say
building universe.
Yeah. No, I would say it has elements of that in that, in kind of its irreverence, but it's what's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a very fun, playful, comedic tone.
Yeah,
this is very dramatic, straight-laced,
sure,
kind of thing. But the irreverence is kind of the same, as far as the two tales for sure.
That's so cool. So cool.
Wow.
Yeah. That sounds very interesting. I mean, I don't know how far into science fiction. I'm a science fiction fan of in all genres. Like I'm an avid, consume science fiction novels. And I'm always looking for, some of the, the best of the best. Because once you start reading some of the really good science fiction, you start getting picky. And your scenario, you guys already know how picky I am, right? I'm a movie snob and a science fiction snob, right?
Who's your favorite sci-fi author, Baron?
The scenario that you were talking about reminds me of probably my favorite science fiction author, Gene Wolfe. And he wrote this, pretty well regarded across literature, the Book of the New Sun.
Oh, wow.
And the scenario is it's so far into the future that the sun is in the early stages of going nova. Right, it's that far into the future. So you mentioned that thing about myth, and Gene Wolfe is always blending science fiction with mythology in just such a unique way. So that sounds very cool. I'm assuming that's a feature.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, right now for me, if I'm being honest and looking at where I kind of envision my career arc going, it would probably be a feature I'm making in like 20 years, or whatnot.
Yeah. Oh, well, that brings up an interesting thing before we wrap this thing up. That I'm very curious about that, because I don't know about the rest of you, but yeah, I've got this plan to do a short science fiction anthology and do several seasons of it, so I can do a whole lot of different stories, a whole lot of different shorts. And then hopefully in 10 years, I'll be, competent enough to do a feature film. And then after that, I've got the next 10 years planned out for things that I want to do. So I tell people I have to live to at least 90, or there's no way I'm going to be able to do what I want to do.
Yeah, I love it.
Miranda, you were what is the project that you were thinking of that's really
So I have a couple projects in mind that are all very important to me. So I guess not one singular potential magnum opus, but at all times I want to create things that have to do with mental illness, comedy, and music. So I have ideas for a mental illness centered comedy musical and a TV show. So checks all three.
Sounds like a Frank Zappa song.
Yeah, yeah, honestly. And there's this TV show that my friends and I it would be a web series that my friends and I really want to make, and that would blend a lot of mental illness and comedy. No music in that one, but not in the same way. So those are kind of the things that I have imagined. And then not quite a short film or feature film, but my album of comedy music that's based on monsters and loving and seducing monsters is what is taking most of my focus when I
It's
have
good.
the energy.
I've heard some of it. It's good.
It's awesome.
There's
It's
really
really
good
silly
tunes
stuff.
in there, man. I'm not joking.
Oh no, yeah. There was a scene that I saw Miranda do on her Instagram. A clip of her. I mean, you're a physical comedian as well as
Thank
just
you.
doing the other stuff. It just blew me away. It was amazing.
Thank
it
you.
makes
I
me
wonder.
want to rewrite a scene and put some kind of super physical action shot in there for you.
Thank you. That's so sweet. I have no idea what you're referring to specifically, but I'm very flattered.
It was a musical, and you were like jumping all over that. You were like jumping on top of a dining table and then jumping off, and it was
that's from Addams
insane.
Family. Oh, thank you. That was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was really good.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Well, we're creeping up on 8:30 here. Did anybody else have any final thoughts or anything you want to plug or any ideas you wanted to throw out before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I got one. I'd like to invite everyone this weekend to come to the Box in Riverside to see a new play festival starting at about 2 p.m. There's going to be 3 plays by artists, local artists in Southern California. It's very specific to our region. And then the play last year that won is becoming fully produced. The 3 plays that are before the main play are stage readings. And then the final one is fully produced from last year. So it's like $20 to come and see everything. So,
are you in?
I'm directing the one that starts at about 4:00. So if you get there before 4, you'll see it. And it's about an online streamer that gets abused by her. The guys watching her, how she ends up taking revenge on them. It's pretty fun stuff. So anyway, at the Box in Riverside, 2:00 on Saturday. If you guys
on Saturday. Okay.
Saturday.
Cool.
Is it 2 days?
Do you have something?
It's 2 days, but the main show is Friday night, but all the smaller plays on Saturday afternoon.
And your play is
at 4:00
on Saturday?
Correct.
Okay. Yes.
Correct.
So I want to see that.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Anybody else have something coming up very soon?
Well, Chino Community Theater is currently producing 2 plays. One is running 2 plays. One is called Dead Man's Cell Phone. It's very, very good. And the other is POTUS, which I hear a lot of people laughing, but I haven't seen yet.
Oh, it's very funny. I've seen a couple scenes done from it, and it's hilarious.
Oh, this is good.
Good. Okay. Well, if nobody's got anything else, want to thank everybody for being on. I knew this was going to be a fun one. How could it not be? You bunch of crazy cats.
Those clips that you put together, those were fantastic. That must have been a lot of work.
I think that was the surprise that Baron promised us. So that was great.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was fun picking the right scenes to try to make it real quick and snappy. So I had to be very discerning on how much and what to show. Because that could have easily been 5 minutes on of each of you. I'd had enough footage. And maybe we'll do that one time. Do a feature on each one of you. Okay. Could happen. But I'm really so looking forward, if everything goes as planned. I know that's a pretty big if, but if they do, when we have our first rehearsal, which I was talking about earlier because I misunderstood what you guys were talking about, but I'm really looking forward to that. Get you all, and I guess is that kind of that's like an accepted thing these days, right? Just doing rehearsals by Zoom, or is it always preferable to do it in person when you can?
There's always a mix. Sometimes Zoom works best, and when opportunity presents, in person.
It's just kind of a logistics thing, right?
Yeah, usually.
Mostly, yeah.
Zoom is a good way to start, but it's always, I think, a good idea if you can to rehearse in person.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll obviously be staying in touch with y'all, and we'll see how soon we can schedule that rehearsal if all goes well. So thanks again for being on, everybody.
Thank you,
And
Derek.
I'll post a recap. I like doing recaps of the podcast, taking the hour and a half and cutting it down to about a half an hour. So I'll let you know when I have that ready. If you want to get friends and fam to watch that would be nice.
That'd be great.
Right. Okay, everybody. Thanks again.
everyone.
We'll see you on the other side.
Take care.
Bye.